How are we all feeling today? I'm a bit peeved off. Well, I have been. I'm alright now. But we're allowed to get peed off, aren't we? Do you not think? Or is that a thing in the spiritual community where we don't get triggered, we don't get peed off? Even when we're healed, do we not get peed off? Do we not let anything affect us? Just asking. And I don't mean like affect us, I just mean, does it trigger that natural instinct within? Do you want to protect? Do you want to speak up against nonsense? Do you want to say what you actually feel in the moment? Because there's a lot of bypassing, and the spiritual community is boring the shit out of me. Boring the shit. They think that we have to be a certain way, and if you don't do this, you're not spiritual. If you're ferocious in any way, you're not spiritual. If you're assertive, direct, you're not spiritual. Well, you gotta be calm, you gotta be cool, you gotta be soft, you gotta be gentle. It's nonsense. I'm done. I'm done with all this. One size fits all. I'm a unique individual, and what I share is there to allow everyone else to step into their own uniqueness. You know, I don't want anyone to follow what I do. I just want to share my experience. I want to share what I've done to overcome the terrible things that I've been through, and I know many of us have been through terrible things. And them terrible things and them terrible experiences really affect our life. They really affect the relationship with ourselves and the relationship with others. Especially when we're high and mighty and we feel supreme. We feel above. We feel better. I've been there. But I check in straight away because I don't want to push people away from me. But at the same time, I'm going to create boundaries. Because if my expression is not allowed, if I'm not allowed to be who I am, then the people that tell me I'm wrong in being who I am can move aside, or we can have a conversation, we can ask questions, we can dig deeper. But some people are just weak in the fact that I can't do this. Oh, you're messing up my nervous system. Well, learn how to regulate it. Learn how to be in your own energy, and learn how to speak about everything you need to speak of, instead of bypassing and sitting in a little bubble and thinking, you know what, that's too much for me, I'm going to cut myself off from the world. Because I tell you something, right, if we don't step into this knowing of who we are in our uniqueness, and if we don't understand how to regulate our nervous system, the world that's being created is going to have a massive impact on that. It's not going to allow you to be who you are. Because we're all becoming a carbon copy. We've got cult upon cult upon cult. And it's alright to try something new, but don't get attached to anything. Be free, be fluid, you know. It's important that we learn from every culture, every background. Take what resonates and leave the rest. There's a lot of nonsense out there. There's a lot of, you do this, you follow this. If you don't do this, then you're part of the problem. For me, if you can't sit down and have a real conversation, that's a part of the problem. If you can't really speak about something in the moment, that's a problem. And I get it, because I wasn't able to do that because I didn't feel safe. And a lot of people just don't feel safe in themselves. But at the same time, if people think they are better and you can't get a word in, you can't have a conversation, if people are not willing to step in that vulnerable space and come down to earth and compassionately witness one another in that moment and talk. We're not going to agree about everything, but that's okay. We are unique individuals. That means we all like different things. And there was a saying I heard when I was in jail. I said to one guy, I said, who do you like to be around? He goes, people like me. And I just looked and I thought, what? People like me, that act like me, that do as I say and speak as I say and think how I think and walk how I walk and eat how I eat and treat women how I treat women. You know, it's like, it's quite sad. It's quite sad. By art part of any cult, if I am, I'm in one on my own. And it's not a bad thing. I do want to create a new culture because I believe that the culture we live in the UK is lost and so divided. And I believe a culture should be accepting, but also not to accept nonsense, not to accept bullshit, not to accept people being violated, people being abused, people being destroyed mentally, emotionally, physically and energetically, people being violently attacked, you know, people hurting animals or hurting this planet, stuff like that. I don't agree with, and I don't allow, and I will not accept. I don't accept it for myself. Now I know who I am. Now I know that shit, I've let this happen because I didn't have someone around me to tell me that's not okay. You don't accept that in life. You don't let that happen to you. Because no one had anyone to tell them who brought me up. No one could tell them, you got to stay strong. You got to learn how to protect yourself and protect others. You've got to stay healthy. You've got to look after your body. You've got to honour your body. Because your body will honour you. You've got to honour the earth because the earth will honour you. You've got to nurture yourself. You've got to love yourself. You've got to care for yourself. You've got to have compassion for yourself. You've got to forgive yourself. You've got to learn. You've got to expand. You've got to find out what makes you feel excited, feel joyful. What brings you into the present moment, which allows you to be free. Free of worry, doubt, judgment, shame, guilt and resentment, bitterness. It's been a long journey to get to who I am, and people think that they know me. People think they can talk down to me and shut me down and siphon my energy. It won't happen anymore. I'm not doing it. I'm not letting anyone take my energy. I'll give it where it's honoured, where it's respected, where it's appreciated, where it's seen. And I don't get that. I don't even get it in my own family, you know. And I've given a lot, especially in the last 5 years. But I'm not going to keep going out of my way to fill someone else's cup up where they don't want to fill their own cup up, and they don't want to take anything on board what I've done to realise that, yeah, I forgive the past, I forgive everything that's happened, but, you know, learn from the mistakes instead of being the same way that affected me when I was a child. Because I won't put up with anything anymore. I'm not putting up with anything anymore. I'm here as a sovereign being. I'm here to be different. I'm here to stand up for what I believe in. And I believe in myself. I believe in God. I believe in this beautiful earth. I respect it. I appreciate it. I love animals. I love children. I love women. I love men. But at the same time, things have got to change. We've got to change, but I can't force change on anyone. And I won't force anything. I won't try to control anyone. I won't say, you have to do this, you have to do that. But there is certain things that we have to do if we want to change. That's it. You know, if you want to change, you'll have to get out of the box, get out of the comfort zone, do something different. And it's about sharing. Sharing how you feel, no matter what it is. Share it. Because when we share it, it's not on us mind. It's not clouding our energy field. It's not consuming us. That's being. And I'll share this. So I'm allowed to be a little bit frustrated. The world, look at it. You know, it's okay. I don't sit in that. I don't let it consume me. I'm just sharing, because people do frustrate me. The world does frustrate me. Moments here and there. And that's okay. But I'm not attached to anything. And things that do frustrate me, if they're not willing to check themselves, they get removed. And the things that I can change and work towards, I am doing. I'm doing my very best to clean up the earth. Even though, you know, every day I'm picking some trash up. I'm doing a little bit. There's only so much one man can do. And then you got people who just don't see it and don't respect it and just chuck it, keep adding to it. But there'll be a time where I've got a team and we do it and we enforce. I won't say enforce, but yeah, we need order, we need structure, and there should be a consequence for being disrespectful and chucking your shite everywhere. There should be. And there should be things in place. Like the justice system is not justifiable in the way it deals with things. This is just one aspect, you know, the litter. It's minor, people call it minor. But there's a lot of other issues that need to be solved and will be solved and will be resolved. But it takes time. Got a lot to work through, a lot to become. And to make a greater world, we have to become greater in ourselves, greater in our health, greater in our energetic expression, and how much energy we have to be that expression. And it takes checking in with ourselves. What values do we hold? What principles do we hold? What ethics and morals do we stick by and hold and embody? And what things do we do that don't serve us as humans, that we've learned from those who brought us up and they learned from those who brought them up? Because it's time for us to change. If we don't make a change now, and I'm not forcing anything, I'm sharing. If you feel triggered by this, that's something that you need to check in with. Because I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm not tired. I'm tired of what's going on. You know, and if I can make a difference on my own, I will, and I am, and I already have, and I'm only getting started. You know, there's not one place that I go, one person that I speak to that's not affected by who I am in a good way. It might not appear good at the moment, because I'm here to trigger the shit out of people. And that's uncomfortable. Get up, stand up for what's right. Get up, stand up Don't give up the fight. Do 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 da 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 da. There's the time coming soon anyway, and you know we're gonna be forced into making change. We're gonna have to be forced to make a difference, and that might come through suffering. It will do, because a lot of people don't want to learn or change until they're suffering. You know, if you don't make time for your wellness, you're forced to make time for your illness. So if you don't move it, you lose it. And that goes for a lot of things in a lot of different areas. But I'm going to leave it there. I've shared it. Have a beautiful day.